Bad habits don't always see bad in the present, but it's the long-term consequences that really make bad habits bad. Let's talk about that and how to break them with 9 tips. So the first tip we're going to talk about is getting your bad habit out of your mind. So the first thing to do is you really out of sight, out of mind. If you have a problem with eating candy, for example, best way to get it out of your mind is to get rid of your candy. And it's a really easy, simple step to do, and it's only step number 1. The reason that I would say this step is only the beginning, and you cannot only do this, is because there's other times that arise, like for say going to a friend's house where he might have candy available and might offer to you, and if you really want to stop it for good, and this really goes for a lot of different things, be it eating sugar or something else, when you go somewhere else outside of your own environment that you can control, you'll see that bad habit arise a few other times. There's different stories that illustrate this, but I'll keep going in terms of benefit, or tip number 2, make the benefit of stopping obvious. Now, when you stop a bad habit, there's no really feeling or emotion associated with it because it's really just the lack of doing something. And so you might have maybe the feeling of withdrawal, but you want to make the benefit more obvious. So what you want to do by that is keep a track your progress of stopping that bad habit. And the next thing we're going to do is increase the friction, make it harder to keep going with that bad habit. Things like unplugging the TV after you use it or setting an alarm in a different room to stop binging Netflix. Netflix automatically makes it so easy to keep going and watch the next one. You need to create things that make it automatically harder and harder to keep going and binging if that is what the bad habit you're trying to break. Next thing we're going to talk about is having a commitment device. A commitment device is something that you say pledge money towards an obligation, like saying I'm going to study German every single day, and apps, commitment devices like websites like BeMinder, you pledge a certain amount of money, and if you don't do it, then you have to give up that certain amount of money. It really keeps you committed to that cause and really committed. And another type of commitment device that I would say is a whole other tip by itself is having an accountability partner. Having an accountability partner, someone that you can talk to and work with to really encourage you and to help you keep you on track with what you're trying to do with breaking those bad habits, is really, really beneficial. And being able to work with that accountability partner, and if they're also working through either a similar bad habit or a different one, it's really good to be able to communicate because you can encourage each other, which is a super important part of this process. Another thing you can do is you can combine the last 2 to create this next tip, which is a contract, a habit contract. Basically what you're doing is you're having a written paper contract that says that I am trying to accomplish this by stopping this bad habit. I will replace it with this good habit, and then you sign here and you say this is what happens if I don't do this. So you can really use a commitment device by saying I pledge money to my accountability partner if I do not follow through with XYZ things. And being able to sign it really makes it binding and really makes it profound. And the fact that it's printed on paper, you can put it around your house, copy it, and keep it around with you, which will remind you about the commitment that you've made to breaking this bad habit. The next 3 that we're talking about here are all about emotions and the emotion of going back into that bad habit. So the first thing we want to do when we're noticing ourselves craving that candy bar is we want to cool down the emotions that are associated with it. We want to heat up the future. So imagine the life of the future where you're super fit and healthy and you're really excited because you've got this new beach body that you've been working really hard on. All the workouts that you've been doing, all of the candy bars you've avoided have led up to this motion. Just imagine that and heat that up rather than heating up the idea. You want to cool down the idea of the candy bar. It's just a little candy bar. It's so much sugar and fat that you're just not, it's going to waste your workout. It's going to really screw you up. So you got to cool it down. And that brings us into part of it. One of the ways you can do that is by imagining that it's poison. Turning your candy into poison is really a mental game because you're thinking about it this isn't something that is something that's good for me or healthy for me. It's actually it's slowly rotting away at my dreams and my goals that I have for myself, and that it's really starting to get behind. It is really a mental perspective because you don't want to just keep eating poison that's breaking down your dreams. And the next thing we have is another perspective one, which is imagine yourself as a fly on the wall, because then you can ask questions like, where am I? What am I doing? Are these emotions really necessary to get digged up into this whole wanting a candy bar? Is this craving necessary? Thinking about the long term, the other perspectives that are associated with the decisions that you're trying to make in the present. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this Younger, Smarter, Better video. You can find us on our podcast and blog platforms in the description section below. And subscribe if you want more content like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, stay hungry for knowledge.